A major AI bombshell left everyone in shock today and also sent the stock market on a roller coaster ride. Early this morning, even before the market was open, all future indices fell sharply. The Nasdaq was falling 1,000 points or 4.5% even before the market was open. And by the end of the day, S&P 500 lost 1%, the Russell 2000 lost 1%, and Nasdaq fell more than 3%. And meanwhile, the Dow was able to keep it at positive side, about 0.6%. And at the same time, Nvidia lost 17%, more than 500 billion of its market capitalization. Just to put it in perspective, $500 billion, that's literally we wipe out the entire MasterCard as a company, or United Health, or the entire ExxonMobil. We're talking about all those major oil and gas assets. And even founder Jensen Huang himself personally lost like $18 billion. Well, I suppose to him, it's just a fraction of his net worth. And I guess it's a nice problem to have, right? So obviously, other AI-related stock, whether it's hardware, chip stock, semiconductor, or software, along with other tech stock, they're also a casualty of today's events. And not only that, but also energy-related, utility-related, IPP or independent power producers, or even industrial stocks also fell sharply. Well, let me break it down a little bit and help everyone to understand what happened. Well, throughout last week at the annual World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, CNBC had a series of interviews with various CEOs on the topic of AI with various discussions such as these.
We should take the development out of China very, very seriously.
What we found is that DeepSeek, which is the leading Chinese AI lab, their model is actually the top performing or roughly on par with the best American models.
If the United States can't lead in this technology, we're going to be in a very bad place geopolitically.
So among all the CEO interviews, it was this one specifically with Alexander Wang that sparked the concern. Alexander Wang is the founder and CEO of Scale AI, a US-based AI company that provides data to AI application for training its models and also consumed by AI applications. In the latest benchmark testing by his company, they found that the Chinese DeepSeek AI is actually in many categories either on par or outperform all the US-based AI applications. That's including OpenAI's ChatGPT. So it sparked the fears of whether US-based tech and AI company are losing grounds in the race to AI dominance. Well, let's have a listen to the highlights of this interview.
I want to go straight to what we were just talking about off camera, which is the idea of where the U.S. is on AI versus China, because you have some very surprising statistics that I think will probably, frankly, freak out some of the viewers.
So yeah, first of all, the AI race and the AI war between U.S. and China, I think, is one of the most important issues of today. We took out a full-page ad on the Washington Post on Tuesday saying that, America must win the AI war. And so this sort of relative race in AI between the U.S. and China is critical. Today, we released Humanity's Last Exam, which is a new evaluation or benchmark of AI models that we produced by getting, math, physics, biology, chemistry professors to provide the hardest questions they could possibly imagine that are relevant to their recent research to really put the test to the models. To give you a sense, no model is getting above 10% on this test. That being said, what we found is that DeepSeek, which is the leading Chinese AI lab, their model is actually the top performing or roughly on par with the best American models, which are O1 from
Okay, so
OpenAI.
I think we have been all under the impression that the U.S. was way ahead of China as it relates to AI, in large part because we have access to, NVIDIA GPUs and chips and other things that supposedly the Chinese do not have. I keep hearing from people all week, from Chinese AI executives, that they say, we're so close, and by the way, we're doing it with one hand tied behind our back. Our algos are better. We're actually going to figure out how to do this, do it better than the U.S. and in even a more energy efficient way because we don't need these super powerful chips. Are they happen to be right?
There's two things happening. First, it is true. It has been true for a long time that the United States has been ahead. And that's been true for, maybe the past decade. That being said, the very recent event on Christmas Day, about a month ago, DeepSeek released a model, which, by the way, I think is symbolic that the Chinese lab releases, an earth-shattering model on Christmas Day when, the rest of us are sort of celebrating the holiday. And they released it to much fanfare, and then they followed up with their reasoning model, DeepSeek R1, which is the one that we evaluated as top of the leaderboard.
How do you, I mean, you work with everybody, so I don't know if it's fair or unfair, but how do you stack rank these large language models and who ultimately is going to be a winner? Or are they all so close and it gets commoditized?
The interesting thing that we see right now, so we actually specialize in this. We've produced our SEAL evaluations, our safety evaluations and alignment labs, evaluations which measure across many different dimensions. We measure across math capabilities, coding capabilities, multilingual capabilities, and reasoning capabilities, and many different dimensions, including tool use and agent capabilities. And what we see is different models are better at different things. So it's hard to put a clear stack ranking among all the models. For example, the OpenAI models are extremely good at reasoning, but the Anthropic models might be really good at code. And sort of there's a diversity of capabilities of the models. That being said, I think what we're seeing in general is the space is becoming more competitive, not less competitive.
So this DeepSeek AI company, just pop up out of the blue, beating everyone. So who are they and where are they from? So basically, DeepSeek AI is a Chinese-based startup AI company based in Hangzhou, which is not too far from Shanghai. And it's started by a local hedge fund company. And the founder is actually from southern China in Guangzhou near Hong Kong. And the company started less than 2 years ago. And in fact, they've been releasing their AI application in China, the version 1 and version 2, and the latest one where, it's being used by the benchmark testing by Scale AI is the version 3. So that's the latest one. And they claim that they got it to this point with less than 2 years and also spent only about $6 million compared to some of the AI budget in US-based companies such as those announced recently by Microsoft. Satya Nadella basically announced about $80 billion on AI application. And also Mark Zuckerberg of Meta, announced that it's going to spend about $65 billion on AI development. So imagine $6 million to get it done to this point. That's pretty impressive and also scary as well. So the implications are quite significant. Basically, overall, in the race of winning the AI dominance, it looks like the Chinese, they are basically right on the tails of all the US-based AI company, if not ahead. So this is very, very obvious, especially the benchmark testing is done by a US-based AI company. So this is a confirmation. And secondly, in terms of hardware availability, well, the Chinese are not allowed to buy the latest and the greatest chips or GPUs, such as those from NVIDIA, under the latest export restriction by the US government. So such as NVIDIA's Blackwell, they have no access. It's not allowed to be sold to China. And they can no longer buy the H100, the previous generation. They claim that they did this whole development based on the H800, about 2,000 of H800 GPU. Now, H800 is more of a dumbed down or downgrade version of the H100. Now, many in the industry is a little bit skeptical on they're able to develop this powerful AI based on just 2,000 H800. Now, some in the industry are saying that they probably have in possession up to 50,000 of H100. Now, whether those H100 GPU were previously purchased or somehow they got some of them through the back door, but I think given they're under export restriction and they are still able to achieve such performance, and that's very, very significant and quite impressive. Well, the fact that DeepSeek is able to get their AI model to where they are under the US export restriction and also at such a low budget, way, way lower than the US-based company and in a much shorter time frame, and at the same time be able to outperform many of the US-based AI, and that's rather impressive. But at the same time, it also sparked a lot of concerns and fears on whether the US are losing this race, losing ground in AI dominance. So the stock market today reflects all these major concerns and fears. So today, that's why, whether NVIDIA or Broadcom, Marvell Technology, Micron, they all dropping double digits. And other hardware-related companies such as ARM and also other chip manufacturing supply equipment, Applied Material, ASML, and KLA, they're also dropping as well. And other chip company, similar semiconductor space, AMD, Lam Research, and all those are also dropping significantly as well. On top of that, we're also seeing utility, independent power producer, industrial companies are also dropping. Well, the other implication is that you can achieve this AI performance with a lot fewer hardware, such as GPU, computer server, and storage, etc. So that would lead to less demand on data warehouse facilities, services. And it also means that the demand on energy consumption should be a lot less, right, compared to the previous estimation. So therefore, today you see that companies such as Vistra Corporation, Constellation Energy, and they're basically power producer and power supplier, and they produce power from everything from solar, wind, hydro, natural gas, and even nuclear power, and supply to customer, commercial and also residential retail customer in the U.S. So their share price dropped significantly, double digit, right, 28%. And also GE Vernova, their industrial conglomerate, is the company that I used to work for a long time. And of course, GE is the one that are supplying all the power generation equipment, transmission and distribution, power grid, all kind of technology. So they also, supplier of renewable energy such as wind and some solar as well. They also suffer a double-digit loss. And Arista Network, they're supplying data warehouse, cloud services, and all these, have a huge impact by this AI bombshell by DeepSeek, the Chinese AI company. Meanwhile, Apple and Meta, their share price rose today. In fact, Meta rose almost 2%. A lot of people are scratching their head and wondering what's going on, why they're able to go against the odds or against the tide. What happened? So basically, what DeepSeek show us is that they're able to achieve this impressive performance with much less time, much lower budget, and use of fewer hardware, get to the market much sooner. They're able to develop their model and the algorithm in a more effective way, and literally commoditize the LLM or the large language model. So that means that there's a lot of room for improvement for US-based company. If the Chinese company can do that, US-based company can also do that too. In fact, DeepSeek's subscription model, the higher subscription, that means with all the bells and whistles of, they're 95% cheaper than OpenAI's ChatGPT. So that means there's a lot of room to cut price. Not to say that Meta or Facebook or Apple will use the Chinese DeepSeek, but even when they use American-based AI source or models, that means there's a lot of room for cutting costs, getting to the markets in a much shorter time frame, using less hardware, less energy consumption, less cost. So in other words, Mark Zuckerberg may end up spending just a fraction of his $65 billion budget on AI. So I think in this whole thing, the Chinese DeepSeek AI show us the ways that what can be done. So I would say instead of fear, it actually, the silver lining is that there's a lot of room for improvement. And that means there's a lot of productivities to be uncovered in the near future. Well, after I saw all these interviews last week, I immediately contacted some of my contacts in the industry, in IT and also in AI, consulted with them and also got their insights and their take as well, and also shares this information with some of the advanced insider in my value investing group. In fact, while many investors and traders were watching or selling in fears, and myself and a few of our advanced value investors in my program, we're well prepared. We have a watch list, we have a target price, we have a strategy going. So when events like this, all of a sudden it happen, we already know what to do as we have a game plan. So we executed some of the long and short, and whether it's stock or option contracts today, taking advantage of the event and turn it into opportunities. So if you're interested in learning more about value investing, basically it's the Warren Buffett style of investing, stay tuned and message me. I'll share more information with you. So this short video is far from a comprehensive analysis of the whole situation. Whether you're an investor or you're interested in investing or in technology, hopefully this video helped break down, what happened today and help everyone to have a better understanding on what happened and why it happened, and provide a little bit more clarity. And the other thing is that as we learn how to invest, we in fact would learn a lot more than just buying and selling. We actually learn about what's happening in our society, in the market, in the economy, and especially, with our new world is literally driven and powered by technology. Right? Everyday life is based on technology. Hopefully, this is helpful to everyone. So if you want to learn more, stay tuned or message me. I'll send you more information. I'll share with you what our value investing program is about. And until next time, and take care and keep learning. Cheers.